Yeah, hi, everyone. Good afternoon. It's Charlotte Pierce. I'm the producer of Face of the Book TV, and in collaboration with Pierce Press, my company, and the Independent Publishers of New England. And we are doing a series of previews of our November 3rd and 4th publishing conference. Our guests today are Alyssa you're gonna have to tell me, Berthiaume?
Yep, that's pretty good. Berthiaume.
All right. And Bridgett McGowen-Hawkins. They work together and they have their own companies as well. So they're going to be presenting at the conference. And I'm really excited to hear about a little bit about how you work together, your individual companies, and maybe a little teaser about the conference. So we'll get right into it. Who wants to go first?
Bridgett.
Oh no. Okay. I'm down for it. I'm here for it, right? That's my phrase of the year. So Bridgett McGowen-Hawkins, the owner and founder of Press 49, the award-winning hybrid publishing company located in Chandler, Arizona. Allie and I are so excited to present our session. You know, it's got an exciting title. Do not write a book until you attend this session. But it's also connected directly to the book that we're releasing in January. Now,
oh, interesting.
Yeah,
it's all fitting together now.
Oh yes, we've got this master plan, Charlotte. You better strap on your seatbelt. You don't know where we're going to take you. We've got a whole roadmap here.
I cannot wait. I mean, I'm a publisher. I'm not a writer, but still, you know, I actually am doing a session on how to interact with your publisher. You know, so yeah, so
I need to attend that and get some tips because, as you heard, I'm a publisher, and sometimes, I mean, it's kind of like parenting. There is no handbook for parenting, and I feel sometimes there is no handbook for publishing. Sometimes,
yes, and you know, people they just want to kind of sit in their little basement office and write their book, and then, you know, they may or may not get a publisher, but they don't really know how to go to an event, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. But anyway, finish your spiel.
Well, and actually that kind of ties to the session and kind of ties to the book, because the session and the book, which is entitled Do Not Write a Book Until You Read This One, the book and the session are all about all of the things you need to think about when you decide you're going to become an author. Because oftentimes, like you said, Charlotte, they just want to write, and that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. Allie loves to write. I love to write. I'm always blogging about something. Don't get me started.
I know, like I'm walking my dog, I'm thinking about blog topics, you know, like.
The same. Or you can see any mundane anything, and all of a sudden an idea will spark for you. And that's, you know, wonderful and creative and exciting. However, it's just not enough if you decide to become an author. So that's what the session dives into, just all of the mindset and the pitfalls to avoid and the mistakes to avoid, and just how to, you know, really become an owner of your book, really turning your book into a business.
Awesome. Well, you know, it can never be, there are so many angles to that topic, and, you know, you can never kind of reiterate it enough, you know, because there's a fire hose of information out there, you know, on publishing. So you guys, you both will help us distill it to the relevant, applicable techniques.
Yeah, and that's really the goal, I would say, of both the session and the book, is kind of like one-stop shop, right? Because we can all get lost down the Google rabbit hole of information, and not all that information is accurate or the most current or the most up-to-date, or, as we all know, right, we all read through a certain bias or lens, and so then you also have to filter through not only is whether or not the information accurate, but, you know, where is this person, this author of this piece of information coming from? What's their experience? Are they just regurgitating other things that they read, but they don't have any experience? And it can be really confusing for first-time authors to figure out if what they're reading is true, if it's accurate, or if it's aligned with their own mission, vision, values. which we bring to everything we do, whether we're aware of that or not. So, do not write a book until you read this one, as well as do not, write a book until you attend this session, are really ways for people to come, get information, one place, kind of a 30,000-foot view, a tour of the landscape, if you will, of being an author, and bringing the book from idea all the way through publication while feeling confident about what you're doing, knowing what to do, knowing the right things to ask, the right things to watch out for, and certainly feeling more authoritative, no pun intended, not just over your book, but over the strategy of your book, right? Because it's not just about writing it and putting it out there. There's a whole bunch of other things that you have to be thinking about that most first-time authors don't.
And tell us a little bit about your company. Like, Bridgett was talking a little bit about hers, but The Right Place, Right Time sounds like a great, very focused title for a company.
Yeah. So I'm an award-winning author, but I'm also an international book coach and ghostwriter. And so Right Place, Right Time, I'm working with visionaries, leaders, entrepreneurs across North America and Europe, and occasionally beyond, on writing their books. Writing their books well, writing their books the right way, having them be sound or emotionally compelling, depending on the genre, and making sure that they get done, because accountability is huge.
Yeah. Do you do ghostwriting, or do you find ghostwriters for authors?
So I do ghostwriting.
You do?
And so, there's kind of two ways to work with me, either as a coach and I'm going to help you do the writing, or as a ghostwriter, I'm doing the writing for you and you're in the reviews. Cool.
So how did you and Bridgett meet up, and what do you do together?
So
Take it away, Bridgett.
It was right. It was
you talk together.
It was something like this. I appeared on Allie's podcast. We were having a conversation after the podcast interview, after we finished the recording and everything. And one thing led to another, where we said, why isn't there one place where all of the mistakes and all of the right things to do and all of the resources on not just publishing your book, but how to write a great book, how to think about your book? Why isn't there one great resource for that? Because like you said, Charlotte, there are all kinds of resources out there for publishing. But the cool thing about our book is it's not just about publishing. It's about what's the content that makes for a great book? How do you write a great book? How do you get into the mindset? How do you turn it into a business? How do you explore your different publishing routes? So it all started from a podcast conversation, and then just after the fact saying, don't you wish clients knew this? And don't you wish people knew this? And don't you? And here we are. Yeah.
What's the most rewarding thing? Maybe you can each answer that question about what you do.
I absolutely love publishing because it is another marketing tool. It's a unique marketing tool, especially for the kinds of authors we publish. We publish nonfiction work. We work with business coaches, consultants, professional speakers. Feels like I'm leaving out somebody right now, but
they can go to Press 49.
Right, small business owners and such. Excuse me. And they use their books as a way to get opportunities and to get their foot in the door. So that's what I love about it. It's just creating this unique piece that they didn't have before, and then they can call themselves, published authors.
I know, that's so rewarding. How about you, Alyssa? Same answer.
Same thing. Ditto.
What she said.
I would have to say, so I tend to work in a lot of either prescriptive nonfiction or memoir. Like those are kind of my sweet spots. And the people who come to write those books bring a lot of heart and a lot of personal story to those genres. And for me, the fulfilling thing is being the person on, typically on the other side of the screen, because we're doing everything virtually, who, is really seeing and hearing them sometimes for the first time with their story, and acknowledging that they've been through some stuff it was difficult or challenging, but they've come out on the other side. They're now successful. They're now achieved. They're now healed. You know, they're on the other side of whatever thing, you know, it was that they were doing. And they're making a really strong impact in the world with their story. Like, and being able to not just hear them, and that's very validating for them, but to actually say, okay, let's turn that into art or purpose. Like, let's make sure that whatever you struggled with or you had as a challenge actually goes on to leave a legacy for you that's beautiful, can help somebody else, can help you more, like open those doors to speaking or help you elevate that business or, you know, whatever it is. And like being a part of how a book can change a person, but then
That's a beautiful concept,
power to change a community. Because when we reach one person who reaches one person who reaches one person, we set off that, you know, that ripple effect. And while we're all hoping we're going to reach one person with our book, the truth is we're going to reach many. And so, you know, books have that ability to transform the world. And I just get to be a piece of that kind of.
I know, I kind of feel the same way both of you do, but I'm a publisher, not a writer. And I, my motto on my website is, you know, helping authors' dreams come true. That's what the most rewarding thing for me is. Like, and they just, you know, like the book comes off the press and they put it under their pillow and they feel it. And it's so rewarding. And so anyway,
my very first book, I slept next to for like a week and would reach out in the morning and rub the cover because it had like a moleskin velvety like feel, you know. I'm also a book sniffer. You both have to know. I love the smell of a new book. Like it's amazing. It's like right up there with leather for me. Like the smell of leather also gets to me. But books, the smell of books, I'm a book sniffer.
There was a place in a printer in Boston and Charlestown, and they were like a really old printer. And I went down to do a tour one day, and I walk around the corner, and there's this guy stamping gold lettering onto leather books. They did a specialty sort of edition for people like Jackie Collins or, you know, like those people. And, you know, they do a gold, and he's like stamping this gold lettering into it was great, you know, so you'd want that under your pillow or under your mattress or something. But so anyway, I'll just, let's see, we have a question here. Oh yeah, press 49. The conference is November 3rd and 4th, and I'm not sure in my head which one day yours is, but it's Friday and Saturday. There's going to be like a host of great stuff, and I think this is one that people won't want to miss. You know, and we'll have, if you sign up for the conference, you'll have recordings that you can, you know, listen to over and over again in the car. But the registration is at ipne.org/events. I'll be there doing the panel on dealing with leveraging your publisher relationship for authors. Have a couple of my authors on there. Let's see. Yeah, we're doing this series of previews. Let's see, 6 or 7 of our presenters are giving previews, just to kind of, so people can get a sense of the value that they'll be getting from this conference. And I'm not just saying that because I'm on the board. I'm just, you know, I have been to several of these and I have learned so much. It's a gold mine of information about publishing. So piercepress.com is where you can find all the links. And let's see, got to give gratitude to Laura Williams. I think I spelled her name wrong there, but she's our web designer and an amazing, she does a lot of author websites. That's another topic that we'll be covering at the conference. People kind of forget that they can't just go to have a page on Facebook and call it a day, you know, right?
We talk about that in the book. We discuss that in the book, and what needs to be on your author website at a minimum, what needs to be on there. And then these are the nice to have. And what's the purpose of it? and it's your book's home. So absolutely. And it's really strange. You'll see people where all they have is a social media presence, and then they're asking, why aren't they selling any copies of their book? Well, that's a whole other conversation. If you're not talking about it, then nobody knows about it. If nobody knows about it, nobody can buy it.
And I think people get overwhelmed by the enormity of the task. You know, they think that they have to like build out this 60-page website and have blog posts every day and stuff. You don't. You just do it regularly. Do it so people can anticipate that something cool is coming. Put it out to 2 or 3 social media sites and lather, rinse, and repeat. You know?
There you go. That's
my opinion anyway. Let me ask you, before we wrap up, just anything else you'd like to comment on, or, you know.
Yeah, shameful author plug, but Do Not Write a Book Until You Read This One is actually already available for pre-order. So people can grab their copy now, even though they won't get it till January, but you want this book. This is going to be the desk side reference that you're going to want next to you as you are thinking, eating, breathing, dreaming about your book. And certainly while you're writing it and then publishing it and then marketing it, like, you're going to want this book with you for the whole time.
Is this on both your websites?
It is at press49.com.
Okay. All right.
It is at press49.com. Click on the catalog and you will see it clearly.
I'm going to pre-order. I'm going to be the first one that's listened to this podcast. And let me ask you one more thing. I just finished a successful Kickstarter. Yay!
Nice. Congratulations.
$9,000 in 2 weeks.
Wow.
Very nice.
It blew me away. It was just, but it's a Ukrainian author. I had to do a Kickstarter to translate it. Do you guys, I hate to call women guys, but do you folks talk about crowdfunding at all?
I don't. However, if I do have an author who comes to me, and financial resources is one of the challenges or barrier to getting published or using our services, that is one of the options that I'll throw out to them. It's
a full-time job, by the way.
It is. And so I tell them, you really have to think about, where do you want to put your energies? There's a number of different ways that you can get the resources to pay for the publishing project. But like you said, Charlotte, it's a full-time endeavor.
It flattened me, but it was like, for the translation, that was, that's 10 cents a word, and that's at the cheap level. And the other one I did was for a children's book. So that's, $200 a page for illustrations. So, it's withering if you don't have that kind of capital at hand, but okay.
Yes. And that's something we discuss in the book, is really understanding what your budget is. And we lay out what these costs there are with us that are associated with getting your book done, and the different types of editors and how much these different editors cost, and so on.
Good. There used to be a great book. It's out of print now, but it's like, it was all about the business.
Where ours is replacing it, whatever.
Okay, good. Whatever it is, it's we've got it now. Yeah. Let me invite people to our next one. It's the Power of Story Structure with Leon Conrad. That's one of our keynote sessions, and he's a fairly well-known, or very well-known author, and he will talk about, how to craft that story that sells, basically.
Awesome. Well, our session is Friday. Our session is Friday, November 3rd. It is 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. Do not write a book until you attend this session, Friday, November 3rd.
And do not miss it.
Right. Love it, Charlotte.
Get in touch if you don't come. No, I'm just kidding.
The conference is not very expensive. I think it's $65 or something. Maybe that was the early bird price. But anyway, it's, the value is just magnified when you come. So thank you both. You're wonderful. I really would love to talk forever, but I think we probably have to get back to not writing our book.
Well, thanks so much for having us on.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlotte.
Okay. Bye.